feet with a huge variety of equipment in different rooms. And we're not done yet. Classes, we have those too. Zumba, yoga, pound, barre, step, body sculpting, spinning, and an abs class. We have 2 separate free weight areas with dumbbells that go up to 150 pounds. Muscle Beach gives you the option of working out outside. Come check us out. 473-9355.
Today will be partly sunny skies with a high near 81, with a south wind at 15 to 20 miles per hour with gusts as high as 30 miles per hour. Tonight, a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms. Some of the storms could be severe, so please take precaution. Mostly cloudy skies with a low around 67. South wind rolling in at 15 miles per hour with gusts as high as 30 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation tonight is 20%. Fun fact, some rainstorms can produce thunder snow, where it snows and thunders at the same time. Keep shining. This is Tisha with your weather.
It's time for Simmons Says, the show that brings Warren County the latest news and stories from around the community. Hosted by Jeff Simmons, this program dives into everything from local events to major headlines. Stay tuned and stay informed.
Hello and welcome to the Simmons Says show here on WBMC 97.7 FM. I'm your host, Jeff Simmons, and if you want to give me a shout and talk to me today, you can, 931-473-9383. You can also get into the comment section here on the Facebook stream that we just shared, and we're up and live and running on that. So if you want to talk to me on there, which a lot of people usually do, we can talk in there. Or, you know, you could just sit back and listen on your radio, or if you're on the WBMC app, and just enjoy the sultry tones of
the sonic sounds of Jeff Simmons.
The sonic sounds of Jeff Simmons. Thank you, Connor. I appreciate that. You always have the best way to term that. Yeah, but I will say this much: we're gonna get it started a little bit different here on Wednesday morning than we usually do, because normally we would be going straight into the Simmons random gripe. It doesn't feel like that's. I'm going to push that to the end. We're going to do that in the last segment, because today I wanted to start with the news that we received here yesterday, and that was the passing of the super fan Charles LaDon Ingalls. Everybody knows him as Slim, and if you want to go through, you can go back and read our story on the Main Street Journal about Slim's passing, or of course, Coach Sullins. I'm sure this is something we'll talk a little bit about on the Warren County Sports Authority tonight, and also we've even said something. Yeah, think of that concept, Christian Griffith. I wanted to talk a little bit about Slim, and Connor's playing his theme music right now, because everybody know when you think of Slim more than anything, you think of him for a guy that would do this. He'd walk as many miles as he had to cover Warren County, and to not cover Warren County, to follow Warren County, to support Warren County, to support his Morrison Eagles. Man, he loved the Morrison Eagles, and he's somebody that this community even if I feel like he's one of those, like, do you know Warren County type deals, where it's, even if you've moved, the people that have moved here in the last year or 2 years, or if you've been here your entire life, I feel like it was kind of one of those things where your indoctrination of being a citizen of Warren County, a native, or however you want to put it, is, yeah, you got to know Slim. You've probably met Slim, you've seen Slim, you've been at any sport. If you've been at any sporting event over the last, I would say 35 years, then you know who Slim is. You've heard him on the sidelines screaming, "Believe in yourself," and he's not with us anymore, and it's tough. It's very tough, because his support, his that catchphrase more than anything has went so far in this community. And it was seeing all the comments that I saw pop up on Facebook on the story that we posted, that people recalling the times where they were at Morrison in their playing days, and Slim was always there on the front row, getting the crowd together, supporting the team, and then he would go hundreds of miles to make sure that everybody knew that Warren County had that type of support. The 1992 state championship baseball team even gave Slim a state ring for his support of that Pioneer team that went all the way to the. I mean, they're playing up in Nashville, they're playing Murfreesboro, everywhere to qualify, and Slim was at every one of those games. He didn't walk to all those, but I think he got started on his way out of town, and I think some people decided, hey, we'll pick you up and we'll take you a little bit of the way. And I think people have those kind of stories. I mean, I think over the coming days, I think you're going to hear a lot more of those stories about Slim and where he was and what he did for the belief in this county on the athletes that we have. And I hope that if you have that story, share that story. It doesn't matter where. I mean, you can put it on our Facebook comments. You can put it on your own Facebook page. I know he's got family members on Facebook that have shared some information. I know the visitations and the funeral will be happening this weekend. Show up and share those stories there, because that's I think that's the time where all of us will have a chance to kind of come to grips with this, but also show up for the guy that showed up for us. And that's where my morning kind of gravitated to, because yesterday that hit home. I think everybody had kind of gotten the news and kind of gotten to the point where they knew that this was probably coming, but it never helps when you see it and realize that it's happened. That no amount of preparation prepares you for losing a true community pillar. I mean, he really was. I mean, Slim was a great guy. He used to write me letters all the time, and he always signed them, your friend in Christ, Slim. So hopefully, you hope that he's just in a better place, and that's where he's at today. Folks, we're going to come back after the break with Monica Moore, because apparently we got to talk some 5K. We got off up. We didn't say nothing was brought up on the first 2 days about the 5K, which I was very thankful for. But we're going to bring back up 5Ks, local running, and just what this community feels like this community's excitement for running and 5Ks, because I'm going to have to be a part of that apparently at some point this summer. So I knew that we could start with Monica Moore and she'd get us filled in. But that would be when we come back on the Simmons Says program here on WBMC 97.7 FM.
He said, I'll love you till I die. She told him, you'll forget in time. As the years went slowly by, she still preyed upon his mind. He kept her picture on his wall.
Big savings are coming your way. Get ready to shop smart and save big with MainStreetShoppers.LLC, launching this April. Score up to 50% off products and services from your favorite local businesses, restaurants, spas, auto services, and more, all at unbeatable prices. Support your community and save while you do it. Mark your calendar and visit MainStreetShopper.LLC, your new go-to for local deals. MainStreetShopper.LLC. Local deals, big savings, coming this April. Save more. Shop local with Main Street Shopper.
30 years. Just how long is that? Well, 30 years ago, the World Wide Web didn't exist. No iPhones, no flat-screen televisions, and no Netflix. You might have installed AOL using a floppy disk. Yep, 30 years is a long time. And to stay in business for 30 plus years, well, you have to do things the right way, especially in the last 30 years, when things have changed so much. The Rogers family has done it the right way, building a car dealership with a focus on integrity, treating people the right way, making fair deals. No tired car dealership cliches. The Rogers really forged a different way to buy a car. It's a hometown-friendly feel. Ed Rogers Valley Ford. 30 years of doing business the right way. 111 Auto Lane, Sparta. And online, edrogersvalleyford.com. Ed Rogers Valley Ford. Same ownership, same customer service for 30 years with that friendly hometown feel.
Hey there, builders and do-it-yourselfers. It's time to dust off those tool belts and get ready for the biggest celebration of the decade. Pioneer Building Supply is turning 50. Yeah, you heard that right. 50 years of building dreams and making projects a reality. Since 1975, we've been your go-to spot for all things lumber, tools, and building supplies. Whether you're tackling a big remodel or just need a few supplies, we've got it all. And this April the 1st, join us for a totally tubular time. Fun food and prizes to kick off the party. Oh, and don't forget retro pricing on dozens of items all week long. That's right, Pioneer Building Supply, 231 Northgate Drive, Suite 250, McMinnville. Celebrating 50 years of top-notch service and rock-bottom prices. You won't find a better place to build your dreams. Pioneer Building Supply, building your dreams since 1975.
Pioneer Building Supply.
Pioneer Building Supply, where good business make good friends.
Pioneer Building Supply.
Why don't you head over to Chicken Chef and enjoy a fresh made-to-order meal, or choose from the all-time favorite like the Chicken Nugget Dinner. Stop in for breakfast, order right off the menu with sausage, gravy, fresh homemade biscuits, or try their delicious tenderloin, egg, and cheese biscuit, just to name a few. Whatever your taste buds call for, you're sure to find it at Chicken Chef. They've been serving Warren and surrounding counties for over 40 years. Stop in today, Chicken Chef on the Strip in McMinnville. You can call your order in to go at 473-5020.
17 years by her side, broke the same bread, wore the same clothes.
Hello and welcome back to the Simmons Says radio show here on WBMC 97.7 FM. I am your host, Jeff Simmons. Before we get to our guest of the day, I want to make sure that we thank our sponsors. That's Douglas Lanier over there on 811 Faulkner Springs Road. Simmons Says is always brought to you by Douglas Lanier, where local businesses can turn for serious protections. And the team of agents at Douglas and Lanier understand what it takes to keep your business covered, smart coverage, straight talk. That's Douglas and Lanier. Straight talk, man. That sounds like it's kind of like Simmons Says too.
Yeah,
we're just a great partner.
I believe it says that in your little promo.
Yeah, well, straight shooting. Well, hey, we're going straight to the source when it comes to all this 5K talk, because we brought in Monica Moore. Mad Cow Running Company, running enthusiast. She informed me in the break because I said, "Hey, we're going to talk some 5Ks." What's the longest run you've done, Monica?
100 miles.
100 miles, and you didn't do this like in a nice like air conditioned place either.
No, I did it out in Arizona, out in the desert. It's about 98 degrees. And took me a little under 30 hours to do it.
And it was a straight go.
It was a straight go.
How do you even? Oh man, I'm trying to wrap my head around this. Connor, help me out here.
Question for you: how long do you think it'll take Jeff to run the 100 miles? He's going to run a 5K and then he's going to do that.
I'll help him train.
You'll help me train on that. Yeah. I don't even know. How do you even start training for a 100-mile race?
It's just about time on feet.
Mm-hmm.
Just going out, doing back-to-back long runs. And I did a lot of heat training, the weather in Tennessee in July and August, it's great for training.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, I guess at some point, I think it's just as much as the acclimation to the heat would be something that you would have to do, even more so, I think you would have to just get to the point where your feet can handle the fact you're going to be, you're just going to be on your feet for 30 consecutive hours. Did you win the race, I hope?
No.
Oh,
no.
Oh, well, you won by finishing it.
I finished, so that was the thing. It was a win for me.
I think most people would be proud to say they ran 100 miles.
Yeah.
Like, that would, if I could ever say that would be wild.
Yeah, I mean, I'm starting to shudder to think if I've ran 100 miles in my lifetime.
I'm sweating in this booth right now. I can't, 100 miles in Arizona sounds awful.
I guess if I piled it up all together in my entire life, I might have run 100 miles. But you did that in 30 hours.
Yes.
Nonstop.
Well, I stopped a little bit to eat. And,
okay.
Do
well, yeah, you're going to have to fuel up a little bit. What's the meals like on a 100 mile 30-hour trip?
Well, aid stations, it's just kind of like an open buffet. They have a little bit of everything.
Okay.
But I pretty much stick to the same kind of food.
Oh, okay. Maybe
what works for me.
Peanut butter sandwich or something like that? Oh,
pretzels and goos and pita bread and bagels.
Okay. So so it sounds like you've done this before, but I was going to ask you, when did you get into the whole running scene? I mean, not even maybe not 100 miles, but when did you first get into running? Was this always been a lifetime passion, or something that maybe you came to later as an adult?
No, you know this as a basketball coach. I hated running. Running was discipline when you played basketball. I started running in 2016.
Okay, so this has been just in the last decade that you went from kind of. Like you said, it's funny that you bring that up because I think we all, at some aspects, as kids, we go and run around on the playground.
Oh, yeah.
Or we play tag, and we think that's awesome. And then there's some aspect of life around 10 or 11 that you hear baseline, and then your entire connotation with running changes.
Oh, yeah. Line up on the baseline and hear your coach yell, again.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden running is never fun again.
Right.
But then apparently in 2016, how did you just go from not running at all to just going right into it? Or was it a gradual progression?
I joined a run group, just trying to meet people. I'd moved to Murfreesboro and didn't know anyone. And I hated the first mile I ran. I said I'd never do it again. But I was lucky. I had a gentleman, he kept saying, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. So, when I first ran, the first race I ran was a 10K, and then a half marathon. I said, I'll never run a marathon. And, of course, now here I am.
And now you've lapped a marathon and put like four. I mean, my goodness, 100 miles is pretty much 4 marathons right on top of one another. Not quite.
Because a marathon's what, 33 something?
26.2.
Oh, 26, okay.
Yeah, 26.2, right? Yeah, so. Woo. Wow, that is a. I would say, I mean, like people would say, oh, well, it's taken 9 years to ramp that up. But that is a long ramp up from 1 mile to 100 miles in less than a decade. That is, wow. So you said that you had that person for you in Murfreesboro, and it seems like you've turned into kind of that person locally. I mean, is that how you kind of got the idea to do Mad Cow Running Company?
It is. I was a coach my whole teaching career, and I love to see people be successful. And, I've got to say that McMinnville has a great running community.
Yes.
Just so supportive and just helps everybody. And to me, it's not about winning a race. It's running with somebody and seeing them be the best that they can be. And that's why I got into it. I've had people in our group that they joined our group because they were going to have to go on blood pressure medicine, or they were trying to lose weight. And, it's more than just about the miles.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I think in our comment section, we got LaKara Griffin Reynolds says, hey, Coach. Kristen Blackburn Griffiths also says, hey, Monica. So it sounds like you got a fan. As usual, our guests always have a fan club in there. And it sounds like, I mean, how many people are on a week-to-week basis involved with Mad Cow Running? And what's kind of the time frame? Give us an idea of do you have novice classes, advanced class?
Well, we don't have classes. We we have a run group on Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. And when I very first opened the store, the first run group that I had, there was 3 people, me being one of them. And now we have about 25 or 30 people every Tuesday night.
Wow.
I just set a route, we run it, go back, just laugh and cut up and have a good time. Saturday mornings, we have a group that gets together and runs from the Civic Center, and we'd go and do races together. It's just, like I said, it's a great group of people, and I've been blessed with their support. And I have to go back to my training. I run a lot of miles with the people at McMinnville for my training, and so I owe it to them as well. Yeah,
I've seen you at the end of the Stars and Stripes 5K. And it seems like you run the 5K, but then you run probably an extra 100 yards, maybe 10 or 15 times, because it seems like you're always circling back to the red light and going in with some of your group there. But so you went from 3 to 25. That's amazing. When did you start Mad Cow Running Company?
4 years ago.
4 years ago. So I mean, yeah, you're adding in there too. Saturday, about the same amount of people.
Saturday we have about 6 to 10 people.
Yep.
A lot of people do races. Most races are on Saturday. So, but we got the Oak Barrel Half Marathon is this weekend, so we've got a big group going to that. So
where's that at?
It's in Lynchburg.
Lynchburg? Oh,
yeah.
That makes sense. I put two and two together on that one. All right, so you have one coming up.
I do. April 19th, the Caving Cow.
Now, that is an interesting one because you weave in and out of the caverns, is that, or the cave systems?
Yes, so we run for the 5K. It's about 2.5 miles on the trails up at Cumberland Caverns, and then you finish. It's about a little less than a mile. You run to the back of the cave, get a glow stick, and then run across the finish line.
And how many years have y'all been doing this?
This will be the second year.
Second year. How much of the interest it gained over the last year? Because I mean, this is it's a fun run.
It is.
I would say that. I mean, a lot of people think. I mean, obviously, there'll be some people that are competitive.
Oh yeah.
About it, but also just being able to do that in the cave. How much interest is there on?
Last year, we had 7 different states represented. Had people from Florida, California, northern states, and it was great. You know, Nicole and Brandon up at Cumberland Caverns, they're just wonderful. And, and that's the highlight of the race is running in the cave. Yeah. You know, runners, you're always looking for that interesting course or, the beautiful views. And, that's what brings people to this race.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, it's we have a lot to offer.
We do
in
our own backyard.
In our own backyard. I mean, because you got that. I think Chris Cope was somehow volunteering me to run maybe the Violet Valley half marathon yesterday. Things like that.
You did get volunteered for that.
Yeah,
I went ahead and put your name in the.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Did you sign me up?
Yeah, I signed you up.
I appreciate that.
I heard they're working on your medal for Tunnels to Towers.
Yeah, everybody's signing me up. Before it's all said and done, I think I'll probably be like having to lead the pack out at the Stars and Stripes 5K.
It's called a silent intervention, Jeff.
Well, I say Sabrina Wanamaker said that she said if you're going to run or walk his first 5K, I bet you could get a crew of local athletes to run with you. Well, I mean, and of course we have Tammy Bolden Painter says in here, "Go Herd." So I mean, this is kind of what it seems like you've done and embraced this community because I mean, there's so many avid runners in this town, and now it seems like everybody's kind of joined together to lift each other up.
That's exactly what's happened. There was a lot of people that were running at their own times, just by themselves. And what I've tried to do is just try to bring us all together as one. There's nothing like running a mile by yourself or running a mile with 5 people.
Yeah.
Give me 5 people any day.
Yeah, 100%. Well, we're going to take our a break here. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about where all the fascinating runs that Monica's been on, and also maybe tell her to put her coach's hat on. But we want to thank Douglas Lanier because your hometown insurance experts from home and auto to business and life, they got you covered. Call or visit DNLagency.com today and experience service that goes beyond expectations. We'll be back on the Simmons Says Show.
The radio I was driving, trees went by, me and Del were singing, Little Runaway, I was flying.
Talk Radio, WBMC News is next.
Your family deserves better than ordinary. At the Butcher on Main, you'll find the freshest dairy delivered daily from Sunrise Dairy and real McMinnville-made jams and jellies that taste just like home. Our house-made sausage and premium meats are crafted for meals that wow. And our gourmet cheeses will have your guests asking for seconds. Need a space to celebrate? Our 1,000 square foot lounge is ready for your next event. Why settle for less? Find everything you need at 209 West Main Street, only at the Butcher on Main.
In the Main Street Journal News, Charity Nicole Harold, a 41-year-old stepmother from Morrison, was arrested last week on domestic assault charges after claiming her 10-year-old stepson assaulted her. However, video footage revealed Harold was the aggressor, leading to her arrest. At her court appearance on Tuesday, a new charge of filing a false report was added, and the prosecution requested her bond to be increased. The judge raised her bond to $100,000 for both charges, citing the seriousness of the case. Charles LaDon Slim Ingalls, a beloved figure in Warren County who was recently inducted into the Warren County Sports Hall of Fame, passed away yesterday at 78 years old after an extended illness. Slim was known for his encouragement at local sporting events and his catchphrase, "Believe in yourself." For the latest news, subscribe to the Main Street Journal, www.mainstreetjournal.llc. With the news, I'm Justin Reed.
If the thought of cleaning out the garage and bringing down last year's Christmas decorations from the attic has you stressed out, wondering where you're going to put it all, fear not. The pros at McMinnville Moving and Storage have you covered. Our staff is ready to assist you by packing, shipping, and even storing your treasures. Imagine finally being able to park your car in your garage again. Get a jump on spring cleaning. Call McMinnville Moving and Storage at 931-473-2805 or get a free quote online at McMinnvilleMoving.com. McMinnville Moving and Storage, moving your memories to your future for more than 60 years.
Today will be partly sunny skies with a high near 81, with a south wind at 15 to 20 miles per hour with gusts as high as 30 miles per hour. Tonight, a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms. Some of the storms could be severe, so please take precaution. Mostly cloudy skies with a low around 67. South wind rolling in at 15 miles per hour with gusts as high as 30 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation tonight is 20%. Fun fact, some rainstorms can produce thunder snow, where it snows and thunders at the same time. Keep shining. This is Tisha with your weather.
Hello, and welcome back to the Simmons Says radio show here on WBMC 97.7 FM. Connor, I'm glad you got your favorite artist of all time.
Oh, yeah,
on the
Blues
show.
Traveler.
Blues Traveler. I know you're a big fan. We want to, before we get back into that conversation with Monica Moore and 5Ks and 100-mile races and everything in between, we want to make sure we thank our sponsors here on the Simmons Says show. This segment brought to you by Reddick Brown Ford. Hey, if you're in a market for a vehicle, take that short drive out on Highway 55 to Morrison and visit Reddick Brown. Has the largest selection of best prices of Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. Chris, the general manager out there, make sure that Reddick Brown is where business is done that simple way. From the test drive to the drive home, the process is easy. Reddick Brown on 5917 Manchester Highway, Morrison, Tennessee. I'm getting good at this.
You are getting good, and I drive by there every day. They have some beautiful cars.
There you go. Hey, look at that.
Hey, that's how you do it right there.
That's
not,
what she
not how I
sells
did
it
it earlier this week.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, we were talking in the middle of the break. You know, the Cavern Cow run. I'm sorry, the
Caving Cow.
Caving Cow run. My apologies. You know, you think that I would have notes on this and make sure that
That's
I'm getting
okay.
this right. And Chris, in fact, if you want to join the Caving Cow 5K and half marathon, you can get into the comments right now because Chris Cope just linked the sign up. And where can they go sign up on that?
It's on Run Sign Up. If you go to runsignup.com and type in the Caving Cow Half Marathon and 5K, you can register.
See, look at that, Chris. It's interactive. We just get
He's the man.
He's the man. Yeah, we appreciate you, Chris.
So now you have no excuse, Jeff.
That's right.
The sign up is right there.
Hey, we're going to get him in the Caving Cow. That'd be good training for your tunnels to towers.
My training just ramped up because that one's in like 2 weeks.
You can do it.
I was like, we were thinking 2 months to training. Now we're thinking about
if you
2
do
weeks.
this one, you don't have to wax on air.
I appreciate that. You said that you kind of got the idea for this race from another race. Which one was that you went
Cathedral Caverns in Alabama. There's a couple of us that went down and did that race. It was just so fun, and running through a cave is just beautiful. Mm-hmm. In Cumberland Caverns, Nicole and Brandon, we run to the very depths of the cave.
Yeah,
it's about 0.88 miles that you run in the cave, and it's just an experience that you never forget.
Yeah. I don't know how much would I be running I don't know. I mean, is it? I'm 6'5". Can I?
Oh, you can fit.
Am I good?
You're good.
All right. I was going to make sure. I needed to make sure I have like the headspace clear.
There is that meat grinder section that you may want to duck a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not going to hit any bats or anything. I'm not going to be like Ace Ventura getting chased out.
I don't know if she can guarantee that, but just
be all right.
No guarantees.
Use your situational awareness.
That's the ambiance of running in a cave. That's
right.
That's just some fun part of it. Yeah. No, I really like the idea of that. And we were just talking about this during the break. The difference kind of between, because I think sometimes you think, oh, running's running. But I've even thought this before when cross country became something that became a team sport in Warren County, which has not been something that's been. I mean, it's been fairly recent.
Yes.
I mean, it wasn't something that we've had for years and years. Cross country came in and I was like, okay, it's just running. We do running in the spring with track, but It's not.
It's different.
It's very different. But we were talking about it. Explain the difference between maybe like a 5K course and just doing it like a 3,200 in track.
One thing is elevation. It's go and run a 5K around the track. You're going to be faster than if you do the 5K in July. You're running up the hills of Westwood. It makes a big difference in your pace.
Oh, a large difference on that. And then, like you said, you're moving elevations. I mean, of course, you're on dirt paths and stuff like that. You're not on that track that it feels the same every single step until you're done. So, yeah. So, I mean, what would you, in average, maybe a time for you would be in a 5K in general?
Well, that's changed as I've gotten older.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm running about a 8:45 pace for a 5K.
Yeah.
Running on a trail, you're talking maybe a 12-minute pace because of all the rocks and roots, and I'm old and I don't want to fall and hurt myself.
I understand. I would say, well, I mean, have you the Stars and Stripes 5K is one that I think everybody that has known from town because it's been going on for so long, and you've won the Stars and Stripes 5K, have you not?
In my age group.
In your age group, yeah. Now, can anybody beat Ann Hunter Myers when it comes to this? Because it seems like she's won this about for an entire decade.
I got to tell you a little story.
Go ahead.
About Ann Hunter. I love her to death. So last year, we were running. She was way ahead of me, and then I caught her. I think she had stopped for some water because it was really hot. And then coming back across the bridge, I got ahead of her. Well, about the place where we get to the tire store, she took charge. Her husband was on the side of the road. He yelled something at her, and she beat me. Yeah. I was like, Ann, the one chance I have to beat you, you got to speed up. And I don't know. She's awesome.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the only time that she hasn't won it over the last decade or so is when she was dealing with an injury, and then she was right. Yeah. But it seemed like it didn't slow her down very much.
And that's how come I won it. She wasn't in the race.
Oh, okay. Well, we're still looking for challengers on that.
That's right.
But I will say that past the one that you got coming up in 2 weeks, what are some of the other races that you have in store for us this summer?
Well, I want to talk about some local races.
Go ahead.
Just so people can get involved. The 4th of July is a great race. Obviously, the Cave and Cow is a great race that people can sign up for. Then we have the Viola Half Marathon, which is in our backyard. It's beautiful, running on country roads. That's my favorite kind of running, is just being out in nature and running on the old country roads. And then we have the Tunnels to Towers 5K.
That'll be in June, yeah.
And so that's a good one. So I encourage everybody, you don't have to travel. I do a lot of traveling for races, and that gets expensive. But we have a ton of races right here, in our city limits or in the county, Warren County. So those are some great races that I'd like to see people get involved in.
How many of those are you going to win?
I'm not going to win any of them. Hey. But I have fun.
Yeah, we're going to have fun. And I'll say this much. You'll see many of our locals who will be very, very competitive in all those races. In fact, did Mickey Ralph maybe win the Viola Valley Half Marathon?
I'm sure. And he's been training hard for Oak Barrel. He's a competitor.
I was going to say, I've made a plan of kind of try to bring on maybe a running enthusiast for maybe the next month or so on the show once a week to kind of
He's very enthusiastic.
Yeah, so I might have Mickey on next week, and maybe he can give me some encouragement and put it on there. But I'm going to ask you to do something.
Okay.
Can you put your coaching hat on for a second?
I can do it.
I'm couch potato, but now I got to do this because I've committed myself. What's the best way to start this training for me as I go forward in it?
Start out slow, run, walk. When I first started, I'd pick a tree, and that's okay. I'm going to run to that tree. And then I'm going to walk to that tree, and then I'm going to run. Running, walking is the best way to build up your stamina, your breathing. So that's the way to do it.
Okay.
Just start out with a run, walk, and when you can cut your walk times down and increase your run times, then you're ready to just try running.
Ready to roll on that one. And hey, listen, I have the Mad Cow Running Company. The owner here, so I gotta let you give a free plug on this. How important is the equipment when you're doing the 5K? Because do I need me a good pair of shoes?
You need some good shoes.
And what
You know,
And-
it's kind of like a foundation. You got to
Yeah.
start with the feet up, and you got to have good shoes. You know, you don't want to get blisters, and you got to have lots of cushion because, you know, we're not getting any younger.
No,
And
and
that cushion feels good.
And I'm not getting any smaller either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we can hook you up, buddy.
Oh, okay, awesome. So I go over there, and I mean, because it's more of a process than people think. Sometimes, I mean, that's a nice looking pair of shoes, and that I mean, it's got a you're really specifying like to the person. I'm assuming when it
Absolutely.
comes to, yeah. So
You know, feet problems and wide feet, narrow feet.
Yeah.
When I first got into running, everybody said, "Man, it's such a cheap sport to get in." No, it's not a cheap sport.
All right, don't scare me too much. You run me off of it. No, I was going to say, yeah, I've been told that I run loud. I don't know if that means that I run with like
Flat-footed.
That's what I figured that was kind of what it was. But people would tell me, "Yeah, you run really loud." I'm like, hey, I don't run, but yeah. So I guess yeah. So I might need something that deals with flat foot running, something
We
like
can
that.
hook you up.
I think hey. We'll have to
We're
going to
get you at the finish line of this race before it gets here.
I was going to say, yeah, I'm just going to be the next person that you're going to be coaching across the line. But yeah, how have you seen people that have kind of went through that kind of that process of just absolutely no physical conditioning or very little physical condition to a 5K? I mean,
Yes.
have you seen that before?
I have,
And-
you know, and that's running is. When I first started running, the guy that was helping me, he told me this, and it's great advice. He said, the hardest mile you ever run is between your ears.
Oh, yep.
You know, a mile's a mile. It doesn't matter if you run a 7-minute mile or a 14-minute mile. It's still a mile.
Yeah. Oh man, I will say this, man. I think that's the only time that I do any running is just running through my mind.
Yeah.
so now I'm going to put the let's see. Lakira Griffin Reynolds says, "Go buy Mad Cow and get the hookup, Jeff." I think I'm going to have to. I mean, at this point, I can't go out here with bad equipment. You know, I can't be going out here with 10-year-old tennis shoes trying to run a mile, run 5 miles or 3 miles.
You would
always
be
get confused.
We would immediately get a doctor's note from you. You would not be doing the show for like 2 weeks. It's like, well,
You think that
went bad?
Could I even make a workman's comp claim on that one? Because I mean, technically,
No,
I'm
you
all
agreed
did
to
it,
this. You agreed to it on your show.
I heard him. He did agree.
No one forced you to do this.
Well, all right.
But we are capitalizing on it, so.
Yeah. Well, at the very least, I think I'm going to have to go out. Even if I'm not at the cave participating, I want to just go out there and see it, maybe get some pictures and see how that's going on. And I don't know. You think I could just slip in at the very end and just do the 0.88?
You're just sitting there with the glow stick at the end of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Can I be the person who hands out the glow sticks?
Absolutely. I need somebody to do that.
Hey, go.
Hey, there we go.
There
You
we go.
participated.
The glow man.
Yeah. What time does this race start?
8 a.m.
Oh, man.
Hey,
No.
you'd still have time to get down there.
Yeah. 8 a.m. used to be like a terrifying thing to me, and now all of a sudden I do a radio show at 9 a.m. every day. So now 8 a.m.'s like, oh,
Hey,
okay.
you want to trade?
What's that?
You want to trade?
No. Yeah, you're here at like 6 a.m. No, thank you. Yeah. Monica, I really appreciate you stopping by. I really appreciate getting to talk to you a little bit about 5Ks, and you've motivated me.
Good.
I feel like I was lacking over the last couple of days. I was like, man, what have I signed myself up for? But now I'm, like you said, I feel like I'm in a community now that their people are going to be like, hey, you got to do this.
Yeah.
You're gonna do. You're gonna. It's not that you got to do it. You get to do it.
Well, come to a Tuesday night run group.
Okay.
And you can be motivated by the herd.
Oh, let's see if
They're
I-
a great group.
Yeah, well, if I can get myself shaken free from about 18 different sports right now,
I
I'll see
know.
if I can get on there Thursday, or maybe I can just head over on Saturday at the Civic Center one
I
day.
appreciate you having me on. It's been
I
a
appreciate
pleasure.
it absolutely, and I hope that you do a lot of good things. I hope your training goes really well. I hope everybody that's doing Mad Cow, everybody that's just running in general in Warren County, I really hope that your training goes well. This 5K. The half marathons, the Oak Barrel, everybody that's going to the Oak Barrel this weekend, good luck on that. Let me know how we do. I mean,
I will.
at the very least, we can write a story up for it and let everybody
Absolutely.
know who locally competed, who locally might have won it. Hopefully
can
stuff
do
that.
it.
Yeah. All right. Well, we want to thank our sponsors, Reddit Brown Ford. You know, Reddit Brown Ford, it's where service meets you and your time comes first. Go on the website and schedule your service today and let Jordan, the service manager, and the fine team take care of your vehicle at Reddit Brown Ford, 5917 Manchester Highway, Morrison, Tennessee. When we come back, it's time for the Simmons Random Gripe at the finish of the show. Thank y'all so much for joining us on WBMC 97.7 FM.
The reindeers, you know you're the mastermind. Run, run, Rudolph. Randolph ain't too far behind. Run, run, Rudolph. Santa's gotta make it to town.
Are you tired of being judged? Well, we here at USA Gym are too. We come in all different shapes and sizes with a variety of goals and ideas. At USA Gym, we are 29,000 square feet with a huge variety of equipment in different rooms. And we're not done yet. Classes, we have those too. Zumba, yoga, pound, barre, step, body sculpting, spinning, and an abs class. We have 2 separate free weight areas with dumbbells that go up to 150 pounds. Muscle Beach gives you the option of working out outside. Come check us out. 473-9355.
Experience the difference at Las Trojas Cantina Mexican Restaurant. Distinctive Mexican cuisine with Cinco 6 to 9 p.m. on Tuesday nights. With Taco Tuesdays, $1.99 street tacos, and 2-for-1 beer specials every day, and all draft and bottled beer from 8 p.m. to close. Home of the Margarona. Las Trojas Cantina, across from Ascension St. Thomas on Sparta Street, open every day and Sundays.
Make the places you care about more comfortable and energy efficient with TVA Energy Right. It all starts at EnergyRight.com, where you can find everything you need to lower your energy usage for your home or your business. Contact Caney Fork Electric Energy Advisors Dale or Chris at 931-473-3116 or go to EnergyRight.com to start living and working more energy efficiently. Caney Fork Electric along with EnergyRight.com for all your energy needs. Brought to you by Caney Fork Electric Cooperative and TVA.
At Redmond's Carpet, they offer a wide range of flooring options to suit your needs. Whether you prefer the softness of carpet, the durability of hardwood, the versatility of tile, or the affordability of vinyl, we've got you covered. We also offer luxury in vinyl plank LVP for those who want the look of hardwood with added durability. Serving McMinnville since 1969, Redmond's Carpet at 2512 Old Nashville Highway. Call them at 931-668-4900 for your next flooring option. Redmond's Carpet.
Oh, why won't this work? Don't lose your cool. Call Black's Heating and Air for a preseason check-in service on your central air conditioning system. It can increase the life and dependability of your unit while reducing the chances of a very sticky situation. Unbelievable! Get that air conditioner checked now.
This is Benny Black.
And this is Seth Black with Black's Heating and Air.
Call today, 931-668-0785.
Benny's slogan at Black's Heating and Air is, once you've had Black, you won't go back.
Mention this ad and you can get a discount.
WBMC and translator W249DQ McMinnville. WBMC.
The mission is clear. Accessibility. Veterans who have served and sacrificed deserve access to the veterans' benefits they've earned in meaningful employment. Join the fight with Paralyzed Veterans of America at pva.org.
Hello and welcome back to the Simmons Says radio show here on WBMC 97.7 FM. I want to thank Monica Moore again for joining us, Mad Cow Outfitters. And I'm just doing a running company, outfitters, doing a little bit of everything over there.
Good to keep a small rural county trying to be healthy.
Yeah, I mean I'm not easy. I'm not easy to get motivated and get healthy, but I think she really kind of
between her and the threat of waxing.
I don't know which one's more motivating right now. And the comment section, everybody chipping in on there. Hey, before we get into our final segment, I want to make sure that we thank our sponsor for this segment, and that is the Cafe at Tree City. Find yourself on the move early and needing some coffee, the cafe's got you covered. Man, they're open daily from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m., and skilled baristas will be waiting there, and they're passionate about crafting that perfect cup for you. So, hey, go check them out over there on 809 Sparta Street, the Cafe at Tree City. let's get to the comments real quick here. We got some more over the Chris Cope. Welcome to the herd.
Yep.
Man. I was like, I probably have to show up at least once first, right?
I was about to say that was a little preemptive on Chris's part, possibly.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that it's one of those things that everybody. It's as you're saying, man. They're just gonna at some point if they just keep bringing me into it, they're gonna be like, hey, he's got to come now.
Like
everybody's seeing this live. We know they're gonna know when you back out.
It's gonna be like, you joined radio.
Yeah,
she's one of I think most unhealthy people work in radio. And now it's just like you change the image from 6'5", however much you weigh right now, to 6'5", 180.
Oh man, I don't know. It is funny because people ask me about it and they're like, "Oh, like running." And I was like, "Well, I did go for about 13 years." There's people that remember this. About 12, 13 years ago, I did get to the point where I was running a lot, and I did lose 100 pounds.
Yeah,
and then I found it over the last few years.
That quarantine kind of helped a lot of people find that weight back.
Yeah, but I was going to say, Kimberly Paul Felton says that was this talk was inspiring. Thanks, Jeff. Let's get to walking and running, and great advice from Monica. I can't echo that sentiment enough. She did a great job of really telling. I mean, it was actually kind of shocking to me to hear her say that she really only got into this about 9 years ago. Because it blows my mind to think you weren't doing this at all, and then within 9 years you're running 100 miles. That
is dedication that I do not have. I will give. She deserves a lot of credit for that one.
Yeah, I can't remember what movie it was. Maybe it was. I just remember Paul Rudd was talking about something, and he had a kid, and he's like, I wish I cared as much about bubbles. I wish I cared as much about anything in life as my kids care about blowing bubbles. That was when Monica was talking about that, and what you just said kind of reminded me. I'm like, am I as passionate about literally anything in my life as she is about finishing a 100-mile race? Like, I don't know if I have that level of commitment
in Arizona.
In Arizona,
which is basically just the fact that the fact that people live there, specifically white people, where the UV index is 99. They just look red and angry all the time. And then to go run a 100-mile race, is wild to me.
And only stopping to really, just hey, I use the bathroom, got fuel, and that's about it. And I'm just going back 30. I mean, you think about I would struggle to stay awake 30 consecutive hours, much less say while you're doing that running.
They make stuff for that.
All right, next topic.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Going back to a couple more of the comments. Becky Clark, one of my favorite AAU basketball coaches when I played Monica Moore. Yeah, absolutely. Kimberly Paul Felton also added that, hey, you can shop local. Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Yep.
If I'm going to go get those shoes, I'm going to have to go.
I was going to ask her about that too. What brand does she suggest if you're running? Because I know everybody knows Nike, Adidas, whatever, but those are just sneaker brands that everybody knows.
Yeah, she might have the new coolest stuff. I don't know, she's over there
or even if they're New Balances, if they basic white New Balances are the best for running.
Yeah,
I'd much rather pick those up because I know I can get them for $40 too. But
100%. Yeah. I mean, she might be the McMinnville Phil Knight over there, just creating an entire new set of shoes.
I got really confused. I thought you said Suge Knight.
No.
That is a wild comparison.
That would be a wild comparison. All right, so we did hold off from the Simmons' random gripe on Wednesday until the here, and I didn't have one specific. I had two individual that almost ended up turning into I'm griping about myself, but that's fine. The first one was if you have been at the red light,
right side of me.
What was that? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like that. That's nice. I like that, man. I like that when you sometimes just give me some music that really makes me feel like I need to know these things.
So I should have specified that this is not time for you to end yet.
I was like, oh, man, they're going to go off air. The first one is if you've been downtown over in the last week, and granted, I think they've already fixed this before I even got a chance to gripe about it, was if you hit that red light on Main Street right when you were at Magnus Library, and all of a sudden you just sit there and sit there and sit there and sit there, I feel you. And there's nothing that I don't even think this is a random gripe. This is just a legitimate gripe. No one likes sitting in traffic ever. And I sit there the other day for what had to have been 5 consecutive minutes to where I saw the entire traffic from the red light at Magnus Library back up all the way to the Black House.
Yep.
To the point where there was a truck, and it was a local business. I'm not going to say who it was, who was like had finally had enough. They got on the horn. The traffic cleared coming from the other from either direction, and said, "Hey, I'm going downtown. I gotta get to the courthouse or wherever they were headed." And they just hit on the horn, and the floodgates opened.
Yep.
And we all ran that light.
We all did. The exact same situation with a OG Ford Ranger doing Ford Ranger things.
Yeah.
And it was like we'd sat there for 3 minutes already, and he probably said some words that started with an F and then ended with it.
Yeah.
And just goosed that gas a little bit.
Yeah, he just
got past.
Look left, looked right.
I don't
it's
think
clear.
he looked at those directions. I think he's like, I've got a metal truck. I can make it.
He just said, I'm going. Yeah, but no, man, I'll tell you this much. In my car at that moment, I was doing plenty of griping. But then it turned into a gripe about myself because I was like, I don't even know who I'm supposed to talk to try to figure this out. So, I mean, but this will tell you just how long that I was sitting at this light before we moved. I was able to Google the question, who would I talk about this? Find the answer to it, find the phone number, call the phone number, leave a voicemail to the place, and also hang up and still be at the lot.
That is wild.
That was a fun time. I did, and then I also posted on my Facebook page, to which I got a comment back from one of a local law enforcement officer who said that the night before that he had actually sat at that light because there was reports that it was not changing, and they had went over there. And I think he said that he sat there for 37 consecutive minutes without it changing.
If that ever happened, I would lose my mind.
I mean, at what point does it flip from I'm pot committed? Like after about 2 to 3 minutes. I mean, I think your peak anger and your griping is going to hit at about 2 to 3 minutes. Because we've all been there where the traffic places are, where they'll pop up and say 3 minute, the long wait time on this one, they're 1 lane road, you're gonna have to wait for 3 minutes. Past 3 minutes, you're like, your griping is hit at all time. But after maybe 6 minutes, does the stubbornness kick in? They say, I'm not moving. I'm gonna wait, and I'll wait until this thing turns green. I'm here for it. I mean, how long? I mean, it
depends on how many of my favorite 5-minute activities I've gone through sitting at that light.
Yeah.
If I've gone through 4 and I've been there for 20 minutes, which I've had done.
Yeah.
At that point, I'm like, you know what?
I think it's time.
I don't care about anyone behind me.
Yeah.
I just put it in park. It's I pulled out my laptop and started watching a movie waiting for a light to turn green one time.
Hey, we're here. It's just going to happen until it turns green. I'm not leaving. So yeah, I would be interested to know just how. I mean, what's the time frame where it clicks in from I'm running this to I don't care. I'm standing on principle. I will stay here for 8 hours if it means this light turns green for me to be able to go. I don't know. It's one of those things. But like I said, the gripe ended up being on myself that I'm like, I don't even know who to talk to anymore. And another gripe to myself, and I want to be, I have to clarify this one before my dad gets to me on Friday. The shirt on Monday, I took that picture and we posted it on Instagram, and I didn't. That's a shirt. My parents got me shirts, and that one on Monday is I have to wear talls because I'm very long waisted, and my parents, because they know that, got me a tall. Well, most of those shirts are made to tuck in.
Yep.
And I don't. And more so, they're rarely shirts that you would also wear with shorts, which I did. So I'm wearing a shirt that's made to be tucked into pants with shorts. And I look at the end of the day, I looked at the picture and I made the comparison that I look like Grandpa Joe from Willy Wonka running around and and I will say this much: I hate when people get gifts and then complain about them. So Emily, Dad, I apologize. I wasn't complaining about it. I was more just making fun of myself for being like, when people tell you can't dress, that's what they're talking about. You have no idea how to even wear clothes that are could actually fit you because you don't know how to dress.
And that's why you tucked your polo into your athletic shorts today?
Did I? I don't think I did. I hope I didn't. I have to look and see. All right. Well, hey, that's going to do it for our show here today. But we want to thank the cafe over at Tree City for being our segment sponsor here at the end of the show. Again, you can go over there. You can download the app and then go get your coffee on the go. Coffee on the go over there at the cafe at Tree City. I always want to call it the Tree City Cafe.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, and I just always get tongue-tied on it. But hey, when we come back tomorrow, we will have valedictorian and state champion Lauren Slatton joining the show on the Simmons Says show on WBMC 97.7 FM, Mondays through Fridays from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. or 9 a.m. to 10 a.m.
That works. It's a long show.